Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aitken from Narrow in the Field. Welcome along, everyone. We are track hopping today, covering two races from Saturday's card at Sandown and one race from York, with the two big field handicaps and the listed Scurry stakes being on the agenda this week, and top, middle and bottom returns for Euro 24 special. Good stuff. Off we go. Racing first as always. We're off to Sandown with the Talksport Class 2 handicap at 205. I could make a mistake there and go Talksport 2. Class 2 handicap. For the first race under analysis, Ben, welcome along, mate. I hope you had a good week, and you can start us off with this one.
Morning, Tony. Yeah, we're off to Sandown 205, Class 2, over 1 mile. A few in this one, I think, hold a decent chance of running well in this 5-0 handicap. Last time out, course and distance winner, Dual Identity. He's first one worth looking at. He's 3 wins and a second from 5 starts at the track. Clearly loves the test Sandown gives him. Form of his win last time out was backed up by the second winning next time out. Although Dual Identity is now on a career high mark, I do think it's a mark that may well still be in range for him. If you look at Dual Identity over 7 furlongs to 1 mile 2, when running around a bend and away from undulating and very undulating tracks, he's 5 wins and 4 placed efforts from 11 starts. So does have conditions in his favour here. Trainer William Knight also has some solid stats with his older horses in Class 2, Class 4 handicaps at Sandown, over a mile or further. 46% win strike rate, 69% win and play strike rate. So I definitely see the case for Dual Identity in this one. Flying Frontier for James Tate, he also looks interesting. Only had the 6 starts. This is only his 4th run in a handicap. His 4 runs on turf have yielded 2 wins and 2 seconds, and he looks one that should have plenty more progression to come this season. He's entered in the Royal Hunt Cup at Royal Ascot next week. He's number 38 for that at the minute, so he wouldn't be guaranteed a run. So a win in this would guarantee him a run, as he'd get a £5 penalty. He's also entered in the John Smith's Cup at York next month, so I think James Tate clearly has lofty ambitions for Flying Frontier. Negatives would be that he's making his seasonal debut here, and he's taken on a bunch of race-fit rivals. So there's no evidence yet to say Flying Frontier can't go well first time up, so I do like his chances. And Too Tempting, he's a third of the field that's caught my eye for this. He comes here off a career best effort at Epsom, won over a 1 mile and a half a furlong on Oaks Day. That was his 3rd win of 4 starts this season, so obviously kicked on as a 5-year-old, and he could yet have more to offer. Rain forecast over the next 24 to 48 hours, and that should take the sting out of the ground enough for him. He wouldn't be wanting it riding good to form, which it shouldn't be come Saturday. Ultimately, I think it does look an open sort of race, but I'll take a pop at Flying Frontier. I think he should have plenty more to offer, and James Tate, he can get them ready to fire first time up if he needs to. So Flying Frontier for me. What have you got, Tony?
Yeah, he's a good trainer, is James Tate, and a good jockey book in there with James Doyle in the saddle. But I'm with you on Dual Identity, mate. Winner of 4 of his 24 starts on turf, as a win over course and distance, which came last time out at Sandown, beating 8 rivals by 1.5 lengths. Overall, he's 3 victories from 5 starts, another effort hitting the frame. And as you say, William Knight, he's in good form at the moment, with a bit of a kind of 27-28% strike rate in the last couple of weeks. So I do like Dual Identity at around 13-2 there. Too Tempting, I like. He's 4 from 20 over this trip, and hitting the frame on a further 7 occasions. An impressive record when running between 8 and 15 days, with a win and 3 place efforts from 4 starts. I do like Too Tempting. Won well when closely pressed at Epsom at the end of last month, beating 14 rivals by a length, and a great season hopefully to continue for this Jonathan Portman gelding by New Bay. He's three from four this season. He's won 3 from 4 this season at Chelmsford Ascot as well in a Class 3 apprentice handicap. And I just think he can give a good account at a big price. He's around 14 to 1, too tempting for the 205, the Talksport handicap. Class 2 over a mile. We're moving on to the 240, the Scurry Stakes. One of my favourite races, this. Love the Scurry Stakes. Over 5 furlongs. Listed race offered 240, Ben.
Yeah, should be plenty of pace on in this one. Graceful Thunder, Dawn Charger, and No Half Measures, all ones that like to be bang on the pace or right behind the pace. With that in mind, might just play to a closer that is being ridden from off the pace. Current fave, A Day in Devon would fit that profile. She's by far the most experienced of this field. 14 starts already on the CV, winning 6 of them, placing on 5 other occasions. She's winning form over 5 furlongs and 6 furlongs, so she'll be finishing off strongly. I do expect the early pace to play to her advantage. Takes her racing well. Off breaks of 30 days or less. Over 5 or 6 furlongs, she has 6 wins, 2 seconds and a third from 9 starts, and I think she's the right favourite for this, and the one they all have to beat for me, A Day in Devon. If there is one that might spring a surprise, possibly the David O'Mara trained in Night Eyes. She looked well ahead of her mark in handicap company on the last 2 starts. She's not really favoured by the weights here, but it's maybe not quite as straightforward as it seems. She's likely still ahead of her current mark of 90. Steps back to 5 furlongs for the first time here. Haven't done or winning over 6 furlongs, so another that is likely to be staying on strongly at the death. But A Day in Devon is the one I think is the most likely winner of this. She's the one I'll be playing. I might dabble with Night Eyes each way as well if the 8 runners all line up, and still around a double figure price. But yeah, A Day in Devon, the one to beat for me. Tony, what have you got for the Scurry Stakes?
I've got on my shortlist a Day in Devon, but I also got Graceful Thunder on shortlist. Trainer George Bowie in great form at the moment, absolutely scintillating form. David Egan takes a ride here for the ever-demanding Amor Racing. Graceful Thunder needs to get back to winning ways, I would think, for these people, but he's available around 7 to 2. I should say the filly, rather, Graceful Thunder. By Havana Grey. My other one is a bit shorter, around 7 to 2 for Andrew Baldwin. O'Shea Murphy on a run of 4 defeats of Flora of Bermuda. Even finished last of 9 last time out. Or beaten over 7 lengths at Haydock last month in a Group 2 contest. But this filly here by Dark Angel drops into a listed contest for the very, very first time after 5 starts in Group 2 and Group 3 contests. Murphy's riding well at the minute. So I think she can improve for the drop into listed class. She wasn't low. She was in a Class 2 conditional stakes at Goodwood last August when she last won, beaten 10 rivals by 4 lengths at odds of 5 to 1 with Murphy in the saddle. I just think she can go better tomorrow, dropping into listed class here. Graceful Thunder for each way backers, and I'm with you on A Day in Devon for the Millmans at a shorter price. But Flora of Bermuda for me in the Scurry Stakes. Hopping over to York now. Another sprint, the 3:35 Churchill Tyres Sprint Handicap, Class 2 Handicap, over 6 furlongs, Ben.
Yeah, competitive big field going to post for this one. Generally is every year. On the pace side of things, might just be suited to those drawn middle to high. Main pace horses look to be drawn, to my eyes, in stalls 13, 15 and 19. So potentially a positive to be drawn in the top half or even the top third of the draw. A few race trends that catch my eye in this 3-year-old handicap. The last 12 winners all met the following. Had 2 to 11 previous career starts, 1 or more previous handicap start, so we're not making handicap debut. Previously won over at least 6 furlongs, 1 or placed on one of their last 3 starts, and had our last start in a Class 2 or 3 handicap within the last 42 days. Now, those trends narrow the field from 19 down to 6. Those 6 are Elmonjed, Ziggy's Condor, Woodhay Wonder, Garfield Shadow, Vince Lamour, and Almarada Prince. Of that trend shortlist, the first one that catches my eye is the Tim Easterby trained Vince Lamour. Tim Easterby likes to target this race. He's won it 5 times since 2002, easily the winning most trainer of the race. His winners of the race all had at least 6 previous career starts, had previously won at least at Class 4 level, carried 8 stone 11 or less, and had no more than 1 previous start at York. With those types, Easterby has 5 wins from 10 qualifiers in the race. 3 of the beaten horses finished 5th, 6th and 7th, so not far away at all. And Vince Lamour does fit the same profile as those previous Easterby winners of the race. I thought he ran an excellent race in the 3-year-old dash at Epsom a couple of weeks ago. That race very much played to those drawn in the top half of the field. The 5 that finished ahead of him and the 2 that finished behind him were all drawn in a higher stall than his stall 10 starting position. So I'm very much of the opinion that his 6th place finish is plenty better than it looks in that Epsom 3-year-old dash. He's drawn in stall 15 here. And as already mentioned, the pace does look to be in the top third of the draw, so he should be okay on that score. I think he looks seriously overpriced at 20 to 1 plus, especially with 5 places on offer. That's Vince Lamour for Tim Easterby. The other that interests me, also on the trend shortlist, the Richard Fahey trained Garfield Shadow. He's extremely lightly raced with only 4 starts to his name, but he won the first 3 of those starts, and I think he's run at Newmarket last time out where he finished 4th of 7. I think that's excusable. That's his first try on good to firm ground. And that quick ground mixed with the fact he got unbalanced in the dip in Newmarket, I think I just saw him unable to run to the best of his abilities. He's worth forgiving that effort, though, because he posted a strong figure when winning at Chester in May. I don't think his mark of 90 should prove the ceiling of his abilities. So Vince Lamour and Garfield Shadow for me in the sprint, both available at lofty prices at the time of recording. Vince Lamour and Garfield Shadow. Tony, what have you got in the sprint?
Yeah, I've got a couple of big prices as well. Well, one big price. We Never Stop for trainer Kevin Ryan. I think he's the outsider of the field, actually. Rowan Scott in the saddle, 1 from 6 on turf, including a 2nd and a 3rd over course and distance last season as a 2-year-old. Twilight Romance and Vince Lamour, as you said, could contest the lead in the early stages, along with possibly, hopefully, We Never Stop tucking in behind. So hopefully, a big price, Kevin Ryan coming back to form or bringing We Never Stop back to form there. He has won a race at Pontefract last July over 6 furlongs and good to firm. And but then he sort of blew out a little bit at York a little later on in August, but he has 2 good runs, 2nd of 7, beaten 2 3/4 lengths with behind Twilight Romance, and then beat Twilight Romance at Pontefract in July, as I was saying, and before that in May last year, 3rd of 10 in a York 6 furlong handicap on good to firm. So We Never Stop could run a big race for Kevin Ryan and Rowan Scott there. Another one that's of interest as well. I do like Vince Lamour, by the way, and Tim Easterby, as you say, targets this race. Ziggy's Condor with Joe Levy claiming £5 for trainer Richard Fahey could go well as well. He has good form at York, 2nd of 22 last August in the Premier Yearling Stakes behind Dragon Leader, and then he's finished 3rd of 7, 2nd of 15, beating a short head back in May this season. Ziggy's Condor could run a big race. I was just looking here, Elmonjed for trainer William Haggis. Chris Hayes in the saddle there for Shadwell Estate, of course, formerly Hamdam Al Maktoum colours. He's an interesting booking on Elmonjed for trainer Willie Haggis. He's got 6 rides at Cork today. Last one at 13 minutes past 8. He's shooting over for 1 ride at York on Saturday, and then he's off to Sean T on Sunday. So Chris, keep an eye on that Elmonjed. Chris Hayes in the saddle there. First time cheek pieces on Elman Jed, and that's around 7-1. That could run a big race. But my main each way, we never stop for Kevin Ryan in the 3:35 at York. Moving on, it's the return of top, middle and bottom. Yes, indeed.
The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, Jeezy peeps, man.
Yes, here we are, Euro 2024. Ben, you'll have to explain the rules here, mate.
Well, start of our Euro special. Unsurprisingly, we're riding by the seat of our pants for this. I think we'll just make up the rules as we plod along. This week we are going for one result from Saturday's 3 games, one result from Sunday's 3 games, and one result from Monday's 3 games. We'll avoid Germany v Scotland opener. I don't need any financial involvement in that one. And no thanks. I think there will be plenty of Jeezy peeping going on during the game. No idea what's going to happen. Well, I probably do, but anyway, moving on. First up for me, Saturday, Spain to beat Croatia at 9-10. Both teams coming into this decent form. Both won 8 of their last 10 matches. Both will be bang up for this because the Italians are also in the group, so they want to get a good start. The Spanish looks the stronger of the two to me. I think their form is stronger than the Croatian, so it is Spain for me on Saturday. Sunday, Serbia and England to draw at 7-2. There's a lot of attacking threats in the Serbian team. Vajovic and Kostic from Juve, Jovic from Milan, Mitrovic, of course, well known to English fans. Even Dusan Tadic at 35, still doing an excellent job. 16 goals and 19 assists for Fenerbahce last season. So I think there's more than enough there to cause England problems. I think England, bit of a team of two halves at the minute. Excellent attacking wise, defensive. Don't think Southgate knows what his best defensive setup is. I'm actually tempted to back Serbia in the double chance market. They're around 7-4 to win or draw the match, but I can't have that on top and bottom, so I'll go for the draw between Serbia and England. On Monday, Belgium to beat Slovakia at 1-2. So I'll go for hopefully an easy one around out my top, middle, and bottom. Belgium are just the superior team here. They'll coast through their group without much fuss before stumbling somewhere in the knockout stages in typical Belgium fashion. So Belgium for me, which is top, Spain, middle, Serbia, and England to draw, and bottom, Belgium. Tony.
I like the comments on the England defence. You see, when he's been faithful to Harry Maguire all these years, I always said it'll come back and bite him on the arse, and it has when he's gone.
You did. We have talked many times about that.
Yeah, and he's now not there, and that defence is a shambles at the minute. Even the squad of defensive centre backs is a shambles, absolute shambles at international level. Moving on, my top on Saturday is Hungary and Switzerland to draw. I'm going for the big ones here. I'm going to wipe you out the first week here, Ben. A treble draw. Here we're going for it. Hungary and Switzerland to draw. Then on Sunday, Slovenia and Denmark to draw. And on my bottom one, which is Monday, Romania and Ukraine to draw. That's my top, middle and bottom. Hungary and Switzerland, Slovenia, Denmark, Romania, Ukraine to draw. All draws. A draw treble there to start us off. Good stuff there. We're looking forward to that.
Wait for the Romania-Ukraine match. That'll be a cracker. That'll be a belting match, I'm sure.
I'm not saying anything. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Very best of luck with your betting at Sandown in York. this weekend. If you don't fancy watching Scotland-Germany game, then you can catch my Groove Express radio show on Heritage Chart Radio every Friday between 1900 hours, 2100 hours, and you catch more from Ben over at narrowinthefield.co.uk. Big thanks for listening this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you all next week. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Tony.
Cheers, everybody.